Hello and welcome back to the Scattered Thought. Today we have a multifunctional shoulder bag for the Mavic Air 2, and this one is by Sunnylife. So like many of you, I picked up the Fly More combo, which came with a pretty nice bag. It wasn't bad at all. I do like it, but it's top loading and it was a little cumbersome when I was out and about doing things. So I wanted to kind of look around to see what else was out there. Also, I don't know, I couldn't get comfortable with it as my main drone bag, and I'm guessing, just some more personal to note, that it was because that my second drone, the one that I was using during the quarantine, was more similar to like the style bags that you see. I mean, just my little beater drone was all I needed, and this is what I used to kind of learn the whole stick movements and things like that. As you can see, I just kind of beat the crap out of this one while I was learning how to do it, but hey, that's what I bought it for, and it served its purpose. So I wanted to find a bag that was more similar to the style that I had with that, just because I tend to I like that style a little bit more. So what I found in a relatively cheap price, because mind you, value is everything these days, was this bag by Sunnylife. Now this particular bag I picked up because, one, I liked the look of it. It was nice and clean. I didn't have to worry about scratching it or messing it up. It had a little bit of water resistance to it, and it was also molded to fit my device, which is always nice. And you got the little strap here. And the way that I see it is, when I'm out and about, one of the things I wanted to do is have another smaller bag. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my DJI Mavic Air 2 bag, and I'm going to use it as an accessories bag. And you can kind of just carry it on the same shoulder by shortening the strap on one, or vice versa, so that you can still kind of get to the accessories through the top down, but your particular drone, that you generally tend to get down and actually kind of pull everything out of, will be based out of here. So I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm actually kind of a little bit of an organization nerd, so I tend to like things how I like them. So I tend to always put things back from the exact same place that I got them from. So a lot of the times my bag will look exactly like it does when I go out, which things like this make that a little bit easier and also make it a little bit faster for me. So as you can see with my original bag, mainly the only thing I kept in here was the documentation that came with the items, and then my printouts for any kind of certifications or what have you. So I'm just going to go ahead and slip that guy in there. It's for the main bag itself. Okay. Well, I was using this LipoSafe bag for the batteries and things, and then what I've been doing lately is, as the batteries are done, I'll put them back in here because I can actually kind of sit them up and whatnot when I'm out and about. However, this bag came with these little sections here that have the molding built in for the style of the battery. And from what I understand, underneath of the batteries actually fits the DJI charge cord. So if you were really going to go out, or if you just went ahead and picked up a second one of those, that actually fits in there too. The third battery obviously being connected to the drone itself once it's in the bag. So let's take a look. Got the drone here. Go ahead and pop the battery back in. This thing, by the way, this little Velcro thing is driving me nuts. I'm actually trying to figure out a better way to do that, although I do like to tinker, so I may come up with something and maybe post a video on what I did to alleviate that. So I just got my little bag here. Generally, when I go out, I don't travel with this, so I've actually been sticking, it's just an old mouse bag that I keep my extra propellers in. I've actually been putting that down in the base where the charging brick goes, because the charging brick generally is going to stay in the car, or I'm going to get one of those car outlet chargers and stuff like this, because this primarily stays on my charging station that I have set up now. All right. And then I got my little strap. Okay. I just recently picked up, I don't know if you can see it here, but I picked up a longer cable that actually can be tucked inside of here. And oh my god, this was just this was something that I was so happy to get, because I was so tired of swapping between the short and the longs when I was switching between cell phones and the iPads. So this one actually kind of fits both of them, and it fits it relatively comfortable enough to where I don't have to kind of mess with the cables every single time, and you can still have them tucked back in. So we'll go ahead and put this in here. Now, as far as the top bag and the Flymore combo one, this is where I just kind of shoved all my random stuff, which usually led to me having to dig for something if I was looking for it. So normally what I keep with me is just a, one of those lens cleaner pens. I like to clean the lens off whenever I'm out and about, just so I don't have to worry about having a dirty lens while I'm shooting. So this I can just relatively keep into something like this pretty easy. Maybe we'll center it so it doesn't butt up against there. Headphones, just so if I want to talk into the phone itself. I always keep like a little emergency screwdriver, which, to be honest, I should just go ahead and keep that bad boy with the thing that I use it for right in there, and then that way I don't have to worry about it getting lost. Yeah. Alright, so we got the DJI ND filters, which I've just kind of now started playing around with. The converter, from which I understand in the pictures, actually fits right there. And then I have my little strap, which this thing I love. If you guys haven't picked something up like this, I mean, it just slips right into there. But the thing I like about this is it actually extends. If you can see here, it actually extends the plate right here where the device sits. So it makes it a lot more stable with whatever device you're sitting on there. So for example, let's see, we'll go ahead and we won't worry about the cable bit for now. But when you take something like, here's the pad from my last video, and that one's for a iPad. So when you take your iPad and you slip on one of these little handy dandy extenders here, you can actually get a good chunk of distance out of it. Now the only problem is that it doesn't really fit the iPad Air 2. You can see here it doesn't want to, and I'm not gonna go crazy overextending. So what I did is I just had an extra case laying around. Here, I'll just go ahead and show you while we're talking about it. How about that? So, these only go out but so far, and you get, this adds a couple extra inches to it, which is great for your larger phones or what have you if you wanted to just get more of an angle out of it. It was something that I found. If you're interested, just go ahead and comment, and maybe I'll make a video or let you know where I got this thing at. But this is pretty nice. But what I did personally is I had an extra case laying around. So what I did is I took this guy and I ripped out the old guts of it so that I could actually just kind of stick that on there. And now that thing just sits like this. And I had a buddy of mine ask me what was I doing about the flap. You see how it kind of just moved on me there? I said, well, that's not really an issue for me, because 9 times out of 10 I'm using the sun visor on it. So what that does is it actually kind of sandwiches the case together, which you can see is not too hard to get on there, and kind of holds that case from flapping around. So now when I'm out and about. Two. There we go. So now when I'm out and about, I'm not worried about this thing falling off because one, this thing is locked on to the case itself, but also the sandwiching action of the sun visor is actually kind of holding it tight in place. So I'm not too worried about this thing moving around. I mean, you're not going to move around a whole lot anyways, but it just makes for a nicer little thing. And then when you add the addition of one of these strap guys on here, it stabilizes it a little bit more, but it also kind of takes the weight off of not only your arms and hands or what have you, but it allows you to kind of do what you need to do with it and actually enjoy the flight instead of worrying about what's going on with this mess all the time. But that's my general setup. But if you're curious more about things like that, I'll just comment down. Maybe I'll make some videos or something like that. I'm a tinkerer, so I tend to modify things so that they fit my needs, just because it's what I do. And it was something as simple as just cutting a hole in an old case. And generally, when I'm carrying things around, I just keep everything flat. So I mean, I'm not worried about that hole being there. And I'll just stick a rubber band or something around it, just so it kind of keeps out of place here. And this I'll toss in the bag or whatever, but this guy here is definitely always with me. All right, so let's get back to the let's get back on course with what we were originally talking about. So we got the case here, got the drone here, got my little strap that I will just go ahead and keep in between my guys right there. And as far as the other miscellaneous things, I keep a couple extra cords because, I mean, you never know what's going on if I need to do a transfer or whatever. Just like to have them just in case. And then, your good old-fashioned USB charger there. So this guy, I guess we can, I'm a little worried about it punching around like it does. So we could just do this. Yeah, that'll work. Just kind of stick her in between the two batteries, since we know that's going to be a height it uses anyways. The zipper's nice and strong, worked out just like I wanted it to. You can see I keep very minimal stuff with me, especially when I'm walking around out and about. And the way I see it with this old bag is now I've got this top loading bag that I can flatten out this guy with, and I'll just use this for accessories. That way I'm carrying my two items, and as I get accessories, as I get down the road and be able to start getting more things like more advanced ND filters, or even I mean, just everything that you can imagine, or anything that you may think that you can use, or I can throw a USB battery pack in there, such as this one I tend to carry with me. And mainly it's because if I'm sitting around, it's got two ports on it. I like the fact that I can actually charge it up via solar. And so, this would be something that I could toss into the bag, and I could actually use it to charge any of the devices while I'm out and about. And if I'm going to be sitting anywhere for any point of time, or even if I'm just sitting in the car, I'll take this guy and I'll throw it up on the dashboard, and that will recharge this guy here. Or you can plug it into the wall, like I usually keep it plugged up for just in case, or also just so that it's ready when I go out. But yeah, so this is, I'm thinking I'm going to like this a whole lot better. I'm a lot more comfortable with this style case. If it starts to sprinkle, like in one of my last videos, it started to drizzle on me out there, and I was kind of worried about how well this bag was going to hold up in weather. So, I mean, I guess it would be fine, but I prefer these kind of cases over the top loading cases when it comes to the drone. And I always prefer, oh, let me put my little extra thumb grips in here. I will always prefer things that have the form factors of the item in it. Yeah, definitely one of these days I need to get a propeller holder for sure, because that's starting to drive me crazy. But I do like this. I wish it would have had maybe another battery slot in the middle instead of this giant space. I imagine they could have, you know, stretched it out a little bit and topped a third in there. It's just personal. I don't really like keeping the battery in there on the go. Usually if there's a battery in here, it's usually because I'm headed back and I don't take the battery out, or at least the final battery out. I just kind of let it sit in there. That way the heat dissipates as it should. But as far as, you know, the bag itself, it wasn't too expensive. I mean, and it came relatively quick. I can't really explain the material, but I'm sure many of you have seen bags like this, but it feels a lot more secure to me. I'm not worried about what's going to happen with my drone, because not only is it form fitted, but, you know, it's got that spacing in there that kind of, you know, cushions, you know, anything from hitting it on the sides or dropping it, or, you know, what have you. So yeah, so that was it for this particular video. If you're interested, again, this is the multifunctional shoulder bag for the Mavic Air 2. This is the one by Sunnylife. I know there are several out there, because trust me, I was searching up and down to find one that I liked, and one that wasn't going to cost me, you know, $200 or $300 for something that I just want to simply have when I'm out and about. So thank you for watching the Scattered Thought. Hope y'all have a wonderful day, and please be safe out there. Take care.